Now, with more than 650,000 learners passing the 2025 National Senior Certificate examinations and a record 345,000 achieving admission to Bachelor studies, there are only a reported 235,000 first-year places available across all 26 public universities in South Africa. Let's cross now to Leanne Manas. She's unpacking this area for us this morning. Leanne, good morning.
Sakina, very good morning to you, and good morning to everybody that's tuned in and watching Morning Live. Well, this morning we're focusing in on student accommodation, and we find ourselves in Auckland Park. That's very close to the SABC studios, in fact, and this is right by the University of Johannesburg, and obviously servicing a lot of the students that go to the University of Johannesburg and also to Wits, because Wits is also very close to where we're broadcasting from. Now, this is a privately owned accommodation. So, one would be, incredibly impressed by what's going on here, because it is beautiful. I mean, there's canteens. We'll show you around a little bit later on and show you the really good side of student accommodation, because this is one where the students obviously come and it's either self-funded or they're lucky enough to get the funding from NSFAS that will come towards their student accommodation, and they're able to get a bed and stay here. And I mean, I'm busy watching some of the young students that are doing their practice for cheerleading. Downstairs was choir. They were also just all together here in this beautiful arrangement for them. However, when you turn this around and you actually look at what's going out in the greater scheme of things, there are students that cannot get this kind of accommodation, and they certainly aren't able to afford this, and they are left sleeping in libraries and university halls. We've heard reports of these. We've seen students protesting on the streets to try and get accommodation. Some of them, and even recently, sleeping on the streets trying to just get an education because they have nowhere to stay. And these are some of the issues that we're going to be speaking to. We wanted to actually speak to NSFAS today here on the program, but they're actually hosting a press briefing at 9 o'clock this morning. So they have promised us that they will come and speak to us tomorrow about some of the funding issues and other things as well. So that's what we'll be looking at, and hopefully get to ask them some of the most pressing questions. But however, today, trying to take a look at the issues of student accommodation, I'm not sure we're getting a very clear picture of what the majority go through while we are being here, because I'm seeing a really happy bunch of students that are able to be here and have an environment that is conducive to getting an education. In fact, we've come right up to the rooftop. We just wanted to give you an idea of exactly where we are standing, and that's just giving you that aerial shot of the University of Johannesburg behind us. But once again, I found myself on a cloudy morning on top of a roof, so can't show you too much, but this is the area that we're in, and a lot of the other buildings around us are also student accommodation. You see that a lot of the buildings have been bought up by probably private, or most of them are privately owned, where they are giving these facilities a makeover and making them for students. So this is what we're focusing in on this morning, but we're also going to try and look at that big picture of students that really do struggle. We did try and actually want to go into other accommodations, but they wouldn't actually let us in, and obviously this is the one that allowed us to come and show us the student life. So we'll look at the good and the bad of student life and accommodation here as we pretty much so wrap up our look into the higher education. We've been trying to focus in on it quite a bit this week. We've been going, as you know, we started off with you and then of course with Liesel at UNISA yesterday, and here we are at the accommodation facilities now. So this is what we'll be doing this morning, and we look forward to coming to you once again from here. Let me hand it back to the studio, Sakina.
Well, thanks so much, Leanne, as we continue our focus on a higher education here on Morning Live.